Let me show how much easier SoftBody is these days. Let's go to Bunny.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh,
For
the
those
ears.
who didn't know beforehand, if you're doing SoftBody, you would have to pin certain vertices to the shape. However, it wouldn't tell you which number vertex you had to pin.
Oh, that was a real nightmare.
And you had to guess. So basically, it was process of elimination. You'd have to pin one, try it, unpin it, pin another, try it. Now, here's how you do it. Let's go to left ear.
Oh, you can see the vertices.
Well, you can see the vertices before, but the important bit is
you can
select them directly. And when you select them directly, I don't know if you actually see it here. Let's try selecting this one. Come in. Here we go. When you click on it, boop. Oh, it's on page 2, that's why.
Oh, does it toggle every time you select it? It toggles it either on or off. Yeah.
Yeah. But it actually adds it directly to the list, and you can see which ones you've got toggled.
That's
now, the
really
reason I've got these ones up here toggled is otherwise the ear has no shape. And already there's a bug where if I start the game, if the second character is picked with SoftBody, you're picking with up and down, which is also a movement. So if I pick Avery with up, his ears are inside out. Because he's already been moving. However, if I do the exact same thing in the other order, so we'll pick Avery first and then go with low poly, his ears are a little bit better. Now, you see this problem? I added a pin and didn't attach it to anywhere, so it's just pinned to null space.
That looks really painful.
Yeah. So let's go and rescue the poor bunny. Bunny, left ear. We don't need you. Come back.
So I don't know whether you're... What are you streaming at the moment? It just looks like it's locked up our end.
Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry, I'm having trouble with this streaming thing. It should be entire screen. No, I should be streaming it.
There we go. We can see again. Yeah.
I've just deleted the ear. Left ear. Pinned, and I want to remove... which one's left ear? There it is. You know what? I'm just going to remove this one. Now, there are some fiddly bits that you have to deal with. There's 20. There it is. Okay, cool. There are some fiddly bits you have to deal with. Specifically, once you've pinned them, you then have to go in and do the attachments. So if I can remember where attachments are, here we are. So each attachment has to be attached to something. I've attached them all to the character mesh, which is the parent, except for 20 here, which isn't attached. So let's just do that one real quick. Oh, wait, I've just removed 20, haven't I? Once more with feeling. Yes, there is no 20. Okay, cool. So now the ear should work fine.
And then we don't get it stuck to the middle of the scene.
No, I've made it worse.
Perfect.
Great. Let's... Oh, hang on. 19 is unassigned and 18 is unassigned. Well, let's just do that real quick. Boop. Boop. You got to have the boobs. Always have the boobs. There's Mikey. Great picture of Mikey.
Good job. I'm super pixelated.
I did play a lot with trail meshes and ribbon meshes for the ball, and then I realized it's just distracting, so I got rid of them again. One thing I did do, though, is, I don't know if you could see over the camera, the gold rays on the spotlights.
Oh, yes. Yep, that is coming across on stream as well. Okay.
A node I didn't know about. So we have the ability to add volumetric. So if I find our environment, which is there's our environment, we can have volumetric fog on, and you don't want this too heavy. But what happens if you want a specific area with more than that? There's a new node called fog volume, where it has different settings, which means you could define certain rooms or areas that will have things like God rays and much thicker atmosphere, and other ones that don't. So you don't have to have all or nothing.
That is really, really useful.
There's also Let's go with the spot for the ball.
A quick question
This
on
thing
the volumetrics. Can you load in a volumetric texture yet, so you can have patchy volumetrics?
I actually don't know. It's an excellent question. No. No, you can't. That would probably be a particle, to be honest. And that's going to have some performance issues, so maybe don't do that. I do know the projector isn't currently working. I've seen the note on the patch where it's being put back on the list. So you could, in theory, add a gobo, which is a theatre term for a metal disc in front of a certain type of lamp that will shine their shape.
That's really useful. So, for instance, if you've got a tree and you would want the sun shining through the tree onto the ground, rather than having to calculate all those shadows, you can just put.
It's great for trees.
Yeah.
It's great for stained glass window effects. It's great for, like, you don't actually want to you're in a top down or an isometric game. You don't want to show the stained glass window, but you want to give the impression of it. You want to do a like disco effect or anything like that. Like if you have, remember when we were looking at the disco level in Battle Tactics, and I made
Yes.
the disco ball, and the only way I could make it was to make a mesh sphere with holes in it.
And that's costly.
Well, with a projector, you wouldn't have to do that. You just draw the thing. But not currently working. There's also light size, which is interesting. But right here is what I'm looking at. Light volumetric fog energy. So let's change that to 25. So you can set individual lights to have more of an effect on the volumetric fog. Now, this isn't free, right? The resource cost of this will add up. So you should only have it with a couple of lights in a scene, I'm guessing, or disable it based on distance. Also, how cool is this?
Is that your 3D text?
Oh, I mean, putting a 2D GUI on a 3D space isn't that much work, but it's fiddly, right? Especially when you're going to have a fixed view. You really don't want things moving all the time. Like in a case like this, right? I don't really want to spend time going to canvas view and back over here. So let's, in fact, you know what? Let's fake it. Let's say going to add a canvas layer. As a child of that, I'm going to add a control node, and suddenly we're in 2D and I can't see what I'm doing. So I've got to go back 3D and back to 2D and back to 3D and back to 2D. And it's just fiddly, right?
Yeah.
Now we have 3D text. Not only does it work for things like this, if you're doing something like in Battle Tactics where we want player names over people's heads, beforehand you have to mess around with viewports and video channels and video project textures and all kinds of things. Now I can do this.
Whilst you're just setting that up, Mindstammer, good evening to you as well. And Melicon points out that with those projectors, you could also use them for caustic effects as well. So, like at the bottom of a swimming pool, where you have those light patterns that are formed through the light going through the water. Hi, Mikey.
And then we can just go into UI.
Hi, Mikey. Rather than a low Mikey. Ah, that joke.
Sorry, I'm not paying attention to that joke. I'm just refusing to. And let's make it bigger.
It's probably for the best.
And there we go. Polly now has a high Mikey over her head.